Last week, Jews around the world celebrated the holiday of Shavuot. In Israel, Jews had to celebrate a little differently this year, many unable to celebrate as they usually do due to the rocket attacks. But nevertheless, Shavuot is an important Jewish holiday, combining two major religious observances: the grain harvest of early summer and the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai 7 weeks from the Exodus from Egypt. Many who want to read the Torah, even native Hebrew speakers, can find it difficult because of its biblical language. Orly and Yoel of Ulpan-Or have developed a unique method of understanding biblical Hebrew, and they join us now. Welcome. So why is it difficult for people to understand the Hebrew that's in the Torah, and how is it so different from modern Hebrew?
Well, there are a couple of reasons, and Orly will explore on the first reason.
Okay, so imagine reading Alice in Wonderland written by Shakespeare instead of the original writer. Would you understand it? Would people usually normally understand it? Would children nowadays understand it? Will they think it's English at all? Similar to that is the difference between the biblical Hebrew and the modern Hebrew. Some Israelis even find it challenging to understand the biblical Hebrew.
So Orly spoke about the first layer of the Torah. There are 4 layers, actually. In Hebrew, we have an acronym called Pardes, and it means Pshat, Remesh, Drash, Sod. So there is a superficial layer, and there are 3 more intrinsic and sort of mystical layers. So if we can access these layers and convey those to our audiences to understand the deep meaning of the Torah, this is something that we want to do in our books that we created. So people could actually access these very, very deep, mysterious meanings by using our books. And we present them in modern Hebrew, translated into English.
So can you elaborate on that a little bit? I mean, tell me about the ebook series that you created, and how exactly do you break down the verses? I mean, what tips do you offer?
Well, we created this content based on the demand of our audience to understand deeply the content of the Torah. And when I wrote, actually, I came from the USSR, the former Soviet Union, not knowing anything about Torah or Bible. And then I created a few, actually, articles about the Torah. And then Orly told me, why don't we convert it using our method, rapid language acquisition, where we use recordings, we sort of breaking down the text and audio, we have talking dictionary. And we said, okay, let's do it. So what we did is we took the content of the Torah or associated parables, Talmudic stories, Hasidic stories, and we are presenting those in a very, very accessible way.
And what happened for the years, as Yoel said, we created it for ourselves, for our kids, for our students. We have about 40,000 students. For the years, we had so many students. So it was for them. And suddenly, for the years when we presented those books, what happened is that rabbis from different streams, Orthodox till Reforms, they all came to us and asked, can we use it in our congregation? We are flattered. So we understood there is a demand for that. Private people are using it around the Shabbat table. So we understand that there is a need for such a book.
I'll give you an example. Take the Hebrew word Tzohraim, which means noon, right? But many people don't realize it comes from when Noah was commanded by the Almighty to build his ark. He told him to build Tzohar in the ark. So people wondered, commentators, what Tzohar meant. Tzohar meant, by one commentary, a small window to bring light into the ark. So the Hebrew word Tzohraim, which means noon, comes from Tzohar, where we have a lot of light during the day. So
interesting and excellent. So where can our viewers, how can they get their hands on this book?
Well, as you mentioned, just about less than a week ago, we celebrated the Shavuot holiday. So we thought to allow our viewers to access these books here. This is the hard copy, of course, but what we have is an electronic digital version, interactive version where we have recordings, text, translations into English, and many more features. So these could be accessed via our site, okay? And we call this series of books Hebrew from Inside Out, because we bring insights related to the Hebrew content in the Torah, and we want our viewers to be able to access those. It could be found on our site, ulpan-or.com, and there's Torah Gems, people can access that. Or there's also a direct link, which is shown now on the screen. So we really encourage the viewers to access that, because right now, for the next 48 hours, we're giving it at 75% discount, okay? Instead of $999, it's now only $249. So for the next 48 hours, this is the price, and we hope you can enjoy it and enjoy not only the Torah content, but also being able to study modern Hebrew through it.
Excellent. Well, Orly and Yoel, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.